Hello guys, Colin here. ColinStonks here. Back with another replay analysis. This is a user submitted video submitted by Brummetheus against Soblet. Very funny match that he's told me to check out, so I thought I'd give it a look. So here we are. I hope everyone's doing fantastically. I hope you're all doing well. Settling into the winter period as it's coming up. Everyone getting your nice warm clothes on, preparing for that winter fury. Let's just jump straight into this one. Let's try and keep this one a bit shorter than an hour. The last video was quite long, so props to you if you watched the whole thing. Anyway, this is about 1,100 elo matchup in tier 4. So tier 4 COs only. We've got Brummetheus on Jake and Soblet on Chess. Jake is your classic vehicle-based planes attacker. He gets the 10% bonus to attacks from planes. His power gives +1 to movable vehicles and increases the attack bonus to 20%, I think. And then his super goes up to 40% on planes and gives vehicles 2 move. And Jess, everything gets +10 attack. All other units get -10 attack. So her infantry are a little bit weaker than most, but her vehicles are proper decent no matter where they fight. Her power gives +1 move, and I don't recall off the top of my head, but she gets a bonus to the attack damage of vehicles and +1 move. Very, very similar to Jake. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, Jake gets the bonus artillery range as well. So there's very even matchup here, and arguably 2 of the best COs in tier 4. Personally, I prefer Adder. I'll just go with Adder every time if I can, unless I see a specific use case for Jake. I'm not a huge fan of Jess, but I do like that her power refuels all her units, which can be really useful. So we'll see how this matchup plays out. I'm warning you now, it's pretty crazy what you're about to see, so buckle in. We'll try and keep it short. So the map is Wondershot. I've played this map once. I played I think it was a tier 1 matchup, and my opponent didn't see the game through. I think they let the timer expire, which was a shame because I kind of wanted to try this map out. I do remember blundering with this lander. It's very easy to mistime the lander here on the shoals to pick up a unit, so just something to think about. What else is there on this map that's quite interesting? You've got the lab in the middle, so if you want science, go for that. Central labs, it's a strange one. I've played Chosen Reservoir before, which has a central lab. I quite like capping the central lab, if you can do it, of course, because it means if your opponent shifts into the middle and you've got it captured, you can see their units if they use it for terrain to win fights. So if you want to bring the fight into the middle, capture this lab and it will give you vision of your opponent if they use it as cover. So just a little thing to think about. So there's a lot of forests, lots of plains, lot of Jake, lots of viability on this map. You can hide your artillery in these forests, and with your power 1, 2, 3 +1 range to artillery 4, you can cover these buildings here for a turn, which is very useful. Same here as well. If you can get an artillery up here behind these mountains, very easy to cover these properties. Jess, on the other hand, just really wants to smash tanks out. Tanks and recons, I think. I don't know if I would go. I think you definitely want some artillery with Jess, but yeah, just go heavy mobility. Try and pressure some side of the map and then front switch when Jake's setting up his position with his artillery, and really try and catch him off guard. That's how I would play this. Again, I've only played 4 or 5 days of this map, so I never actually really got to get into the nitty gritty of it, but here we are. So let's go. Brummetheus to start. So you got Brummetheus and Jake up in the top right, and Soblet in the bottom left in the blue. And so we're going to start with just, classic infantry. And same for Soblet, brings the lander down, of course, as you would. And of course we're going for the base. You want to get the base, you want to get this infantry. I would probably forgo this port initially and try and get this property, We'll see if Brummetheus does that. He might want the early income, which is fair enough. Goes for the port. Soblet straight on that helicopter. Helicopter? The helicopter factory. No, the airport. Very standard openings here. We've both got recons, which I like. I do enjoy a nice early recon. You want to know what your opponent's doing. And on a map like this, if you can get a recon in the middle here, you can, I don't know, it's like the bloody Nuremberg or something here. You can just send them around this. Getting vision, interrupting caps, just being generally quite good value. Let's keep going then. So just more infantry, more infantry. I think everyone's sort of, you know, no one can afford a tank yet, so it's just a case of getting as many infantry as you can and starting to think about shipping these guys down here to start capturing. Recon comes across. Let's see if Soblet mirrors. No, he goes up towards the middle, which I like. I quite enjoy the middle play here. I don't know if the recon over here is as useful as in the middle. Maybe early game to interrupt some caps. If you can get this over here quickly, you might actually be able to stop them from getting a foothold. But yeah, either or is fine. You just worry about the middle here. The helicopter. Keep calling it the helicopter factory. You could keep making helicopters, and they get into the middle quite easily. So the recon's quite exposed, especially if you get another recon in here. Helicopter recon. With, I think Jess helicopter recon will kill a recon, kill your opponent's recon. So something to think about there. Got to be careful with those helicopter ambushes. As for this, so you tend to see the lander drop here. It puts you in range of this property. I think if you're late getting over here, it's probably worth putting the lander here. Infantry there. Infantry there. And then trying to play for this mountain. I'm not sure about that. I'd have to run it through the chat GPT, see what they think. That seems to be solving everything these days, doesn't it? Recon into the middle, lovely. Yeah, we're both just capping the sides here, and I like the T-copter with the. This is lovely. Of course, Brummetheus sees this, so now he's got to be aware of the T-copter for the rest of the game. I think the T-copter's a really good strat here. I do enjoy a T-copter. The only problem with it is really you're going to have an infantry deficiency, so you've got the capacity to carry 3 units from this island, but you can only make 2 a turn, so it might impact that. Is you just have to be extra careful that you're getting value out of your T-copter every turn. Otherwise, it's just like an expensive and yet terrible recon. So Brummetheus comes out, gets the cap here eventually. That's lovely, and I see. Right, going for the double tank. So 1 tank for Soblet, 2 for Brummetheus. Gets the infantry, gets the interrupt. Fantastic. We're going to see this tank come up here, no doubt, into the forest. Yep, so Brummetheus doesn't see it. Go for the cap, so we'll see if he gets greedy here. I still think it's worth it to fully interrupt this cap and kill the infantry, because the tank probably won't one-shot on planes. And we're going for the comm tower as well. So just a quick note about these 2 players. Obviously, you know Brummetheus. He requested my last video. He's sort of the reason why I kind of got into doing the replays in the first place. But we've played loads of games together. Not this map. But we did some wacky matchups. One of which was Olaf versus Drake on a France map. It was like France, but in Advanced Wars. It's quite funny. Called it at France Wars. And yeah, we had random weather on, and I want to take this moment to apologise to Brummetheus, because in that game, I was playing Olaf, and it snowed. It snowed twice during random weather, and it didn't rain once for him, so I felt kind of bad. Yeah, a bit lucky, I guess, but I don't know if it impacted the match. It was a really weird map. I'm not sure. And then Soblet, I've played Soblet in the ladder before. We played on, what was it, Settles of Stillwater, version 3, I think. But yeah, good player. They're both about 1,000 elo at this stage, and I know Soblet enjoys playing the girls. Likes the girls of Advance Wars, which is fair enough. There's many good girls. Don't know why I'm saying it like that. He's just one of the girls. I'll shut up now. Let's get back to the game. So okay, so we do get a one shot. Wow. Okay, good to know. Of course, when you're playing the game, you should know these calculations if you actually, if you're trying. So, but I don't know. He got the interrupt, weakened this infantry. Unfortunately, if he had put this to 6, probably would have been way happier about the situation, because 5 up to 7 with the heal, and then it can cap in 3 turns, whereas 6 caps in 4. So you really want to be, you want to keep the enemy's infantry below 7 if you can. That's the magic number in terms of value to damage ratios. Are we going to see a science penguin? Who knows? I do like the penguins. I think they're pretty cool. I know Go7 likes the penguins. They're a niche. I like the bandanas, as you know. I think I only just realised actually, but on the website, if you click on info in the top right on Advance Wars by Web, you can see the lore for all of the different nations that they've added to this game. I just thought that's quite interesting. So this is Amber Blaze, I think, which is loosely based on China, and then so the brown desert that I like is Egypt, of course. And we're just moving up, getting his comm tower now at last. No vision over here, so we can't realistically interrupt this. Jess is gonna have to play a bit more passive over here, maybe just try and lock these two down, and then accept the fact that Brummetheus is probably going to take this property here. Controlling the forest next to a city is really strong, especially if you have an infantry in wait to finish off anything that goes for the cap. And we get the artillery as well up here, which I like. I do like the artillery on the HQ side. We'll see our first helicopter from Brummetheus day 9. Soblet's turn, here we go. Right, this is a little bit brave. It's alright, it's the brave penguin. It's like the brave toaster. Does anyone remember the brave toaster? I don't know if I'm just rambling. I've spoken to this about loads of people and no one remembers the brave toaster. Oh my good lord, what is this? He's built a stealth on day 9. I mean, it's funny. It is funny though. I don't know how viable this stealth is going to be. Obviously, Jess like weaker air units, minus 10%, but then she also gets the refuel on her powers, so the stealth's kind of viable to some extent, I guess. We'll see what he does with it. It's a crazy build, especially on turn 9. Excuse me, turn 9 is just your classic stealth timing, isn't it, What day is it? Day 9, build a stealth. That's Jess, of course. Infantry move up, goes for this cap, I like that. That's an opportunistic cap there. He knows that it's out of range of the mountain here. Realistically, not going to interrupt this, even if you're capping this building. I mean, if he had something in the forest, then so be it. I just don't love the fact that Soblet has no vehicles on this side, especially being a vehicle-based CO. I would be slamming vehicles out, even just like a couple recons or a recon and a tank. You know what I'm saying. So Brummetheus goes for the cap. He doesn't feel like he's in any danger. Obviously this recon might interrupt. He's got the vision, so we'll see. So he gets spotted here. I think in this situation, you've got like your opponent's about to capture these 2 properties. You've got a weakened infantry. Well, I think you go for the tank. I think you just, yeah, so he moves it up and left, so he retains vision of the tank, very important, and then brings his tank down. Perfect. A nice 5-8 trade as well. And the team's moving up in the north. Ooh! Spots the recon. I like that. That's heads up from Brummetheus, and this is why I think this forest tile's risky to park your recon in. Yeah, it's great if you can get away with it, but you've really got to be careful. Like, as the defending player, you can't you can't not check this forest every now and again, especially in fog. Well, I don't think this map's available on non-fog. So now this is quite cool, leaving Brummetheus with the option. You know, do you want to come out and spot this and then finish it with the tank, or I think that's what I would do. I'd try and hunt this tank down before it heals up. But look at this, 20 to 15. Soblet is killing it on the capture front. I guess that's the perks of not building many vehicles. It's probably the stealth. The stealth's done a lot so far. I think the stealth's probably allowed him to capture a lot of buildings. I say him, her. Apologies, Soblet. We'll just call her from now on, because Jess. So she loads up the T-copter and brings it. Come on, someone get the lab. Come on. Someone's got to get the lab. That's like the bonus objective is the lab. It's like the side quest. Okay, go for the trade. He's going to finish that off, surely. Yep. And go for the neutral properties. Like it. Okay, just brings us back to heal. And goes for the cap up here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, he can, if he gets power, he might be able to save this infantry, but he's got 3 vision here. It's not realistically going to happen. I think this is a dead cap. This artillery, I maybe would have... I maybe would have brought it up and left, because if you can get an artillery to lock down this area, especially these shoal tiles, like, and then a fighter to kill anything that comes out of the port, I think you're in a good spot. Obviously that's wishful thinking. It may never happen like that, but it's a line. It's a line of play. Yeah, nice. Bring the tank down. Helicopter up north. And this is one. I remember I watched a replay on this map ages ago, months ago, and I can't remember who was playing, but they had a line of infantry from this base to about here. It was hilarious. Like, there was just so many infantry. It was like the great conga line of Wondershot. I don't know if that's the meta or not, but it was quite funny. Yeah, so this is the 7 HP infantry, which if it was on form would have taken an extra day, but what can you do? Goes for trades from his cities. This stealth's kind of being stealthy, I guess. It's on a stealth mission. I quite like that he's putting it in places where Brummetheus is never going to really, like, find it. That makes sense, even though it's on the front lines. Like, why would he ever commit an infantry or a tank to this area? It's just crazy, you wouldn't do that. So there's good positioning for the stealth, I think. Bring a tank and an infantry up north, and more penguins. The march of the penguins and a fighter. Brave fighter. I mean, I guess I personally would build the fighter once. Say Brummetheus spots the stealth, you can then assume that Brummetheus will build a fighter to counter the stealth, and that's when you build your own fighter to counter their fighter. The preemptive fighter here is just sunk funds. You could use it as a blocker, I guess. Probably one of the best blockers in the game, fighters and stealths. But yeah, I'm not sure how useful that fighter's going to be. So yeah, gets trapped on the forest here, but that's fine. Should have just gone for the lab. Like, no one interrupts the lab cap. They just let you have it. Free lab. Nice. Yeah, artillery into support. And we're sort of halfway on the power charge for both players so far. Obviously unit count, value, very similar. It's early days. I think we've only lost infantry and recons. This recon's doing great. Still alive after that helicopter tank assault. And he's got the stealthing back at this. I just love it. It's so funny. I think it's super viable, but you really do have to make sure you get good value on its first strike. You want this to kill a helicopter. You want this to, you know, help you break down a wall that would otherwise be impossible to break. You want to set up a situation with stealths where your opponent's like, oh, they can't break my wall here. They don't have anything to do with this. But actually you've got a stealth hidden somewhere, and that's the extra damage you need to push through. I think that's where the stealth's most viable. This is, yeah, I mean, it's gonna die, but I guess you want to trade infantry here. Considering you own the properties, you just can't risk them getting, like, captured back. And Soblet's still ahead on properties. So the aeroplane, the fighter comes out. Move 6. I mean, did they put like a helicopter engine in the fighter? They should be able to move 9. And I don't hate revealing it, honestly. I would, in some ways, like, obviously you got to be scared of anti-air. But revealing the fighter is quite funny, especially in the middle of the map if you can support it with tanks. Because I don't know how useful this is going to be. Obviously, he can kill 1 helicopter. It's got 1 target on the map, which he knows about. So, I don't know. Maybe you reveal the fighter, scare off the helicopter onto another side of the map, build an anti-air up there to cover it off, and then bring the fighter around to cover the other side, and then you've got like full anti-air map coverage. Just move this along, so infantry moving 3 spaces constantly. Day 13. And what do we get? Artillery tank. Is that it? Okay. Okay, maybe saving up for another stealth, who knows. And the recon finally dies, so it's nice to pick that up. But he's got another one. She's got another one on the way. Very good. And we're going for this cap down here, the Brummetheus, which like, you don't know that this is here, but having seen, like, your own, like, this is like the ULEZ in London, right? This is like congestion charge city. There's just, you know, if you had a toll booth up here charging people to come over these 2 roads, you'd be making bank constantly. I'd talk about ColinStonks, like, that's some highways transport funds right there. So, looking at this, and, you know, the congestion problems up here, maybe you'd think to yourself, like, this is probably, while it looks free, it is, I don't know, not so contested, not so free, but the 2 tanks really do help, so I can see why you did it. I just quite enjoy the simple nature of the build so far. Helicopter, artillery, tanks, and recon with infantry. This is just far too technical for my brain. Getting a stealth, look at it. Why is it? I can't believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, this could get revealed next. Oh, it's Brummetheus' turn, right? I'm going crazy. Like this infantry, you know, he's like 1 square away. Like, oh. It's funny. You've got to respect the outrageous plays in the Global League. I'm all for it. Although I wouldn't do it myself, because I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe a stealth is viable here. I do like it. I think it's really smart. Infantry comes, cleans up. This is just the problem with this fighting here is you're just forcing into the meat grinder. Like Jake's artillery can just sit here all day and just like take shots at anything that goes on this city. So essentially, you're just giving him free like unit like lead. I think what you want, and I appreciate he doesn't have many forces to back it up because all his money's tied up in a fighter and a stealth, but yeah, if you're going to do this, if you're going to push like hard and you know, like take the contested properties, this technically should be Brummetheus's, I think. You really want to have the units to support this push, because you're just basically just sending penguins into the meat grinder. That's awful. That's an awful image. And the tank comes in, gets a nice first shot. But okay, and he just sees the artillery. I think the artillery shot on his infantry last turn, so he should know it's there. And this is crazy as well. I mean, pushing the T-copter up to look in this forest, I mean, it's not getting any value. Like, say you spot a, I don't know, a unicorn in this forest, like, there's still nothing you can do about it. There's no units to you know, take it home and sell it on the black market. Like, I don't know. Tank comes across, hits the recon. Again, Jess infantry, bad trades, not great. 7-5. I mean, it is on a road, so. But yeah, this is. Just don't try that again, please, Brummetheus. I say it like I'm the better player. Like, Brummetheus beats me like all the time in our matches. He's like my antimatter. So the turbocharge from Jess, and he's just finished his turn, so I don't know what's going on here. I guess he wants the defense and the attack. I don't know. Does this heli fighter, does this live if an anti-air shoots it with a Jake power, if Jess has her power going? I'm not sure. I might put that calc on the screen, because that might be why he did it. He might just want to keep this alive. This stealth is like still hidden. Ah, maybe he did it for the fuel. That's a good point. Do we get to see? Okay, it's on 16 fuel, so they take 8 a turn. So he kind of is, yeah, up to 60. So actually, no, I can see why he would do it. Okay, and he builds another stealth. So just double stealth. Because why not? Because life's too short for one stealth. Takes out the infantry. Again, just feeding in this area. It's kind of pointless. And the other problem with doing this as well is it gives Jake an excuse to just coalesce forces here. If you keep feeding him in a certain area, he's just going to build up units there, and then you've got essentially a death ball to deal with, as opposed to if you stretch him thin, give his artillery like really difficult engagements. I know he's only got one, but for example, you might come up with Jake that plays 2 or 3 artillery, and if you could stretch them thin and, you know, play a bit more guerrilla style, then I think it's probably a more viable strat, but it's what it is. Still haven't spotted this stealth. This is the stealthiest stealth that ever stealthed. Oh, so close. Infantry gets the reveal, but it doesn't really do much. And tank on the forest, which is nice. Good bit of defensive terrain. Gives the tank another helicopter. And Soblet's turn. So, I mean, that power, while it did give him fuel for the stealth, like the stealth wouldn't have crashed that turn, so he didn't need to do it then, I don't think. And like, what did it achieve in terms of defense here? He lost everything in the middle. Sorry, she lost everything in the middle. Lost this tank as well, pretty much. I'm not sure the power was warranted, but it might, you know, they might have their own reasons for it. Who am I to try and understand the reasoning behind these things? I just look at the charts. The game being the chart, obviously, you know. T-copter's coming back, probably to load up some more infantry. We've got another tank coming in up the top. Okay, let's speed this up, because I don't want this one to go on for ages. I think this is quite a simple map, and it is just a case of value trades, securing areas. You want to secure this square, you want to secure this square, or you want to let one of them go and then smash the other one. HQ is generally quite exposed as well, and this like quite a choky area. I actually think rockets probably are quite viable on this map. You can get rocket there, and then get stuff covering around here on this bridge. Heavy units covering a rocket here means they can't really defend their base properly, so rockets probably not too bad on this. Stealths, fantastic apparently. This stealth's done so much. Get the lab. Okay, takes the city. And threatening the cap. I like it. Loading the infantry. Yep, getting the artillery in there. Nice, nice. Just positioning here. I think he'll probably like want to repair this tank, and then this tank will. I would probably hide this tank here. So I'd repair this tank and hide this one here, because this hidden tank would cover everything. See what he does. Okay, repairs the tank. Only brings it out. Fair enough. Okay, fine. He's using it as bait. It's pretty good. Sorry, another fighter from Soblet as well. So just thought I'd note, like, Air Force Jess here. The classic double fighter, double stealth strategy from Jess once again. Oh my god. Ooh. That is tilting. If I saw that, I would be so tilted. If someone did that to me, don't do that to me, please. If we're in a game, I'd be so tilted. I don't know, like, how you're supposed to mentally react to this. Is this really good? I don't even know you can see it, to be honest. If you're Brummetheus, can you see this stealth on your property? Does it reveal it? I know that because it's stealthed, it can't be attacked by anything other than a fighter, but I don't know if this reveals. Maybe you just click on the airport and nothing happens. I don't know. Get some value here. The fighter. Let's go. And the second fighter coming in here as well. Yeah, so what you might want to do with these fighters is actually just choke up your HQ with them. Just use them as blockers. Appreciate then you're probably over-investing in blockers, which is, I don't know, fighters are dubious at the best of times. I think you probably only ever need one. Loading up the boys. Yep. Bring him up. Tank repair. Yeah, just getting defensive in the top left. He sees this attack. He doesn't take this engagement, which is smart. He knows there's an artillery up here. She knows there's an artillery up here. Sorry, I'm terrible at this. Day 16. Goes for the cap. This is great. I love this position. You've got the artillery to cover the capture. You've got two tanks. Like, you know, this is like not very heavily reinforced. I would be scared if I was Brummetheus. I'd be thinking, where the hell are all these units? Like, what is going on? Why am I winning every fight in this area? Why is nothing like scary coming to attack me? You know, you expect a bomber or something like that, a bomber or maybe a Neo tank to show up on the left side over here, but no. Chocolate Muffin, he has not seen anything scary other than tanks and, you know, penguins. Okay, just okay. This is risky. This is a very risky play. Killing infantry with two tanks to reveal this, and like, what do you have? 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess he could like block rock and kill this if it was a tank, but that's so risky. I don't feel like he's under any pressure here. So lashing out like this is just, it is risky, but whatever. Sometimes you know when you know, like you get that gut feeling when you're in a game. Builds an ear tank, love it. I guess he's like thinking to himself, well, there's a stealth on my airport. I've seen like, how many fighters has he seen? He's seen one fighter at least. So that's like 46k, 44k locked up in air units that are kind of just completely useless. Like, now that Brummetheus can't build air, this fighter's useless, and this fighter's useless, which is why I don't like the second fighter. The second stealth is probably fine, but two fighters when you're base locking an airport. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe use this as bait to like get some charge. You know, feed it into this anti-air so that you can get your power and do something like that. Might be an option. Oh yes, dude. I think he can't lose now, right? This gives like a plus 100 to potential for winning. So good for him. That's what it's all about. Okay, right. So I see what he's doing here now. So he wants this, and he wants the comm tower. So that's fair enough. I just think it's a little bit risky, but maybe because he's seen all these like ridiculous air units, this is worth it to him. So crack on. Yep. Okay, nice. Artillery's still there covering the comm tower. He's going to lose this, I think. He might send the infantry to interrupt. Nope, sends the tank into the artillery. Good. That's a good move. Unfortunately, he has literally nothing to back this up. Imagine if this was a bomber. You know, say Brummetheus like weakens this tank or hits this tank and then uses the anti-air to finish it off. And then you go bomber, hello, kill the anti-air, and then he's got nothing to counter the bomber. So the bomber could have been really good here. And this fighter is now just a scout, I think. I don't know. It's not blocking anything. Like, it's because you can take this lander through the port, and I can't tell if these are shoals. I don't know if you can drop off up here. I think you can, but you see what I mean. It's kind of not doing anything. And again, this fighter as well. I'll stop going on about the fighters. My last video was just hating on fighters as well. I promise I love fighters. I think the best fighters in the game are Drake fighters. Hands down. There's no better unit than a Drake fighter. And you may think I'm kidding, but I'm really not. They are like the Spanish Inquisition, I guess. You know, no one expects the Drake fighter. Another stealth. So 3 stealths now. I mean, I don't know. There must be like a risk to reward, you know, like a value, a profit to earnings margin for stealths. I don't know if he's met the exponential curve of that yet. I think it probably leveled out after the first one, but we'll see. So Brummetheus sees this one actually. He spots this stealth, but he can't do anything about it. He's just got to accept the fact there's a stealth there. What do you do in this situation? You see a stealth, you literally can't do anything about it. Because you can't build air units. Like, what do you do? I don't know. I guess you just have to, like, send it and try and capture the HQ. So he goes for the block rock. Nice. Does he go for the luck roll with the infantry here? Probably not, because I think he's quite a sensible player. Oh, okay, right, yeah, the 3 HP tank, obviously. Gets his property down here. Nice, nice. Recon comes in, spots all of this, and, you know, when you see your fighter down here, you know that there's, like, what? You see 2 fighters now. So you're like, hell yeah, like, let's go. Just full send. I honestly don't know what else to do. The lab, of course, insert lab comment here. Doesn't go for the comm tower, but gets the wall break, which is pretty good. Shame the infantry wasn't in range to finish, because then he could have broken and then potentially hit the... Well, he would have needed something to reveal anyway, so I'll shut up. But he goes for it anyway, because, you know, 4 HP Jess infantry, pretty scary. Just continues building tanks. I think I 100% agree with this. I think you do want to, at this stage, given that you're kind of under pressure, you know that he's got loads of air units, you know there's nothing you can do about them. You just want to build fast, cheap units and just try and rip through all these infantry. You know there's going to be artillery down here. You know a lot of values tied up in these air units, so he's probably not got like mediums or neos. So yeah, I agree with just the tank spam. I think that's totally good. So here we go. Now he goes for the block. Of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now he actually is delaying this. So that's a pretty good move actually. I quite enjoy that. I do like a good positional play to really disrupt logistics. And continuing to fight up here. This is a brave infantry, man. I mean, what else does it do? If you put it up here, it dies. Anywhere else, it dies. At least it kills a unit, right? And the stealth comes in, and it just goes like it just stealths. It could have interrupted here. I guess you know that there's the anti-air. Stealths have a vision of 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So he sees this anyway. So why would he fly it in and then stealth it? I mean, sorry, why would Jess fly it in and stealth it? If you're gonna do that, you might as well, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, put it here and then hide it, and then you can get down here and save your base. I don't know. And this fighter as well probably should be on a passable terrain tile just to slow down the tanks. Force this anti-air into artillery range, then you kill the anti-air, and then you just focus on making sure this one dies as well. Another stealth. 4 stealths in a Global League fog match as Jess. You can't stop it. One shots to recon, very nice. Okay, that's a good use of time actually. So he just moves it across and chucks the tank in. I think, was it loaded before? No. I guess this is fine because he gets 2 units in there anyway. It doesn't actually show me on the replay viewer what's in here, so there could actually have been something else in here I wasn't paying attention. You do want to be careful with this Neo tank though, because you don't want to give these stealths value. I think this has to like city hop the whole way down, potentially. Capture the lab. It's right there. I know you're under pressure, but I don't know. Would I capture the lab in this scenario? I would have already captured it, let's be honest. I would already own this lab. Day 18, Soblet's turn. Oh man, let's look at the unit count. So 37 to 24. Jess's power coming up. I mean, the value is quite similar. And in actuality, like, Soblet is winning on value, but that's just because she has so many units that are untouchable, basically. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 100k, pretty much, of flying things. And then 2 fighters. So 140, 150k in air units out of 170, which implies no tanks. And you look at the map, yeah, no tanks, no vehicles, no nothing. Goes for the turbocharge though, gets the refuel. Sacrificing another infantry here, why not? Oh, come on, use this. Don't kill infantry. I guess it's kind of trapped. He could hit this tank though, surely? She, he, them, it. He could hit the tank. But it goes for an infantry. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. I told you this game was crazy. I totally forgot it, but I knew that there was a stealth in it. I didn't know that. I completely forgot that there were 4. What a ridiculous game. Okay. Penguins moving. Rockets, here we go, finally. Rockets are last. Are you going to put them here? I guess they cover this building and this building and this building, so great, I guess. I don't know. I don't think that's going to do much. Realistically, not a great buy. Rockets down here. If you build rockets down here 3 turns ago when you built that 3rd stealth, I think you're actually probably having a pretty good time. Rockets in this forest. Bait in the attack. Artillery rockets. Boom, but no. Stealths. Day 19 Brummetheus this turn. Gets the break. Good use of a 1 HP infantry. Now you've really... Yes, this is... artillery are so good for just killing infantry. They're like cheap medium tanks when it comes to wall breaking. Don't sleep on artillery. Even if your opponent's like not building air units, or if you don't know, like they're still super useful for wall breaking. So good use of the artillery there. Nice. And now you can... I mean, it's Brummetheus right now. I see this, I'm like, get me in there, coach. You are just full sending on this HQ. You really want to sit a unit on it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No charge. Okay, he can't get anything on there, which is a shame because, you know, the +4 defense would be lovely, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. I would have sacked this by now as Jess. But he's not building tanks, so it's just like not gonna. It's not gonna get him anything anyway. Because you've got no tanks to make value of your power, so whatever. I don't know, just a wacky build all round. I don't... 1 stealth was great. 4 stealths, maybe not. And this is... I think this is the deal. This is the deal, Sealer. I mean, props to Brummetheus here, because like if you get base locked by a stealth, like a Jess stealth as well, that can just sit there forever, and there's like quite literally nothing he can do about this. Carrier won't hit it. The anti-air can't even hit it. Even if it unstealthed, the anti-air couldn't hit it. So, as you know, to be on the receiving end of this base lock is quite daunting. And yeah, I mean, a lot of players would probably just concede as soon as they saw that. But Brummetheus made of sterner stuff here, clearly. He doesn't care. He's like, great, you can base lock me. That just means that I can focus more money into building Neo tanks that do nothing. I don't know. This Neo tank hasn't done much, but it's good. You know, it's there. It's ready to do something. Here it comes. And I don't know how much longer this goes on for, but presumably not that much longer. I mean, you're losing the comm tower. You're about to get capped here. The artillery. Could he have put it in the forest? Would it? No. It's probably pretty good there. I don't know if there's a better position for it. Maybe on this city, but obviously the recon's on there. And also you see the rockets now, so yeah. Oh, that's artillery. Lovely. The stealth. Oh, is that the most value trade we've seen out of a stealth? One did kill a helicopter, I think, or was it a fighter? Either way, it's nice to see them finally paying off. Yeah, the rockets comes onto the city. I guess that's the only kind of place it can go. Flops a loogie here, but it really doesn't do much. Stealth coming in, hits another tank. Oh, the stealth strategy is working. Here we go. And just more penguins coming down to reinforce, but they're just choked by this recon. Like, I'm sure you want to hit the tank here, but if you can kill this recon, which I don't know if Jess can hit, presumably not, I think you would have done that. Maybe even for the luck roll, and then get something, anything on this base, just as, you know. Okay, well, I spoke too soon. Oh well. This tank's in a great position now because, like, it's a 3 HP tank and you've got to, like, you're just locking this stealth up here. It's like, great, you can kill my 3 HP tank, whatever, I don't care. Like, it's not in range of the rockets. It's spotting this tile, these tiles here. I mean, what am I talking about? Who cares? Like, the action's down here. Let's just, I'll stop. Tank's coming across. He's just, you know, another Neo tank. Love to see it. Neo tanks are really good counters to stealths as well, because, like, you know, what else are you going to build at this stage, really? Finally kills the artillery, and he goes for the join cap here, so caps it with a 7 HP infantry, gets the 4 HP on there, gives it 10. Which realistically doesn't, like, it doesn't increase the speed of the cap, it's still going to take 3 turns, but it gives it more HP, makes it a safer cap. I can see why I did that, for sure. Yeah, one thing to note, stealths like really do get good vision in fog. I do think it is 4 tiles. I'll double check that before I upload this. I'll make sure I'm correct there. But I remember playing a game against my IRL friend and he built a stealth. And I was just quite surprised at his vision range. I thought it was quite cool. This poor guy, look at him. Turbocharge. Big turbocharge. I mean, it better be. It better be a big turbocharge. I think the only unit to get value out of that turbocharge is this rockets. Which is pretty funny, but hey, it stopped the cap, so, you know, you might live another turn. You might live another turn. Oh man, and the battleship. Wow, okay, here we go. Classic Jess build right there as well. I appreciate the strats Soblet. If you see this, I really do. I think this is it is a very funny game. It's a bit of a meme. I probably think 2 stealths is where you're hitting your you know, risk to reward ratio. 4 stealths, bit questionable. But that said, they've all lived and they've all done stuff. So know, who am I to say like what's good and what isn't? I just think maybe a bit over-invested in stealths. Okay, yeah, just smashing the joint caps here, and then you really just want to lock this down and make sure this stealth cannot get a shot. I guess the yeah, he wants to power. Brummetheus really wants to power this turn just to, you know, really reinforce this infantry. It needs to live with 6. Yep. Wow, that was sad. I want to show you that again. The sad beatdown. Look how many units get the flashy. Ready? Wow. Just 2 artillery. Oh no, the Neo-tank gets trapped. I mean, at this stage, I guess you are sweating a little bit as Brummetheus here, because you just need to block the stealth, but you don't know about the battleship. But then you're I guess in the long run you're totally fine with this, because look at the cap game as well, 25-17. Like, he's just taking over the whole map. Didn't get the lab though, so it's like a hollow victory if he wins. This is one way to make a stealth useless, isn't it? You know, surrounded by 1 HP infantry. Yeah, I'm glad he did that. That's it. It lived on 6. It lived. I don't know if that was a roll or not. The power definitely helped. Gives you 10% defense, so 50% defense on the HQ. So, you know, it's pretty good. Maybe if he wasn't playing Jess, she wasn't playing Jess. If Jess wasn't here, and that was, say, Ada, for example, probably fine. And just GG. Well done. Good game. Absolutely wild. I can't believe this. I've never seen anything like it. Let's look at the stats real quick. So, yeah, a few more generated funds on Brummetheus' side. I think that's just towards the end of the game he really started overtaking. Soblet, of course, had a really strong early game, but it kind of fell apart after the second stealth and the second fighter. I think the second stealth was fine, and the fighter as insurance was not too bad, but the second fighter was, yeah, I don't think that was needed. And strangely, Brummetheus actually, this is one of those strange games where he actually lost more than he killed and still won. The reason being is, yeah, the stealths just had so much value locked up in them and they just couldn't be countered. I guess the counter is like, you know, capturing the HQ and winning the game. So well played by Brummetheus. I think Soblet probably could have taken that if he had invested more in tanks and just got some more value out of the actual reason why he played Jess. You know, it is what it is. Let's go have a look at the base log, because like how far this stealth went. So it was day 9, wasn't it? Yeah. So the day 9 stealth. Day 9? Oh, it's a day 10 stealth. Sorry. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and it sat there for 1 day because there was a helicopter. And then, so 6 days in, boom, day 16 base log. With the backup stealth as well. I don't really know how you play around this, like how you prepare for this as Jake. I think if he had better control of the middle here, it makes the stealth, you know, the tactical espionage action of the stealth, it makes it a lot more difficult, and he has to go all the way around. So maybe if you're worried about a stealth airport lock or base lock or whatever, maybe you just like reinforce this area a bit better and just make sure it's really tricky for them to navigate aeroplanes through. Just a thought. That's maybe something you could try in your game if you're whoever's watching this, you know, and you're worried about this crazy stealth play. If you see me on the ladder and we get this match, I might even try it. So. But I think it's probably only viable as Jess, because this stealth can just sit here forever. And I think maybe that's why Jess is like arguably one of the best COs in this tier, because on certain maps, like if she can get away with something like this and have a good ground army, it's unbeatable. But yeah, I mean, not much else to talk about. It was a good game. There was, I think, this whole craziness here in the middle. Get this property and then back off. I mean, he could have even parked his stealth up here. Like, if you really don't want them capping this, stick the second stealth up there. You know, because he gets it, she gets it here. I guess you've already lost the area by then. Yeah, I mean, using it as a blocker is pretty good once you get the lock, because you know they can't kill it. And then it was just a case of, you know, the orange wave, essentially, coming down, capping the base, winning the game. GG's, guys. That was a very interesting one. Thank you, Brummetheus, for submitting that. It's pretty hilarious. Gave me a good laugh. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I have no idea how long it was. But, yeah. Enjoyable to make, nonetheless. And good game to both players. Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone, whenever you see this. And, yeah, hopefully see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.